Hey guys, this is Rachel Robinson with your WOD video for Thursday, March 6th, 2014. And I want to talk about something that should be helpful for brand new distributors, and that is how to tell your story when your story isn't very big yet. We heard at Leadership School this past weekend and have heard before that facts tell and stories sell. So it might be tempting if someone asks you what Spark is and you're brand new, maybe you've had 2 Sparks your whole life and aren't super experienced yet. It may be tempting to say, well, Spark is a sugar-free energy drink, it has 23 vitamins, you won't get a headache, blah, blah, blah. And that person's going to leave that conversation and say, hey, thanks so much for telling me that, I feel smarter already. But they're not necessarily going to feel called to action to go and do something. But if someone asks you what Spark is and all you know is that you've had 2 Sparks and you felt awesome, and your response is something like this: oh man, Spark is awesome, I drank it today instead of coffee, and I went home and cleaned my whole house and rearranged my kids' room, and I'm just kind of looking for more stuff to clean now, I feel awesome. Then that person's going to wonder how they can get a piece of that. That is the example of story selling. I had a friend I was talking to on the phone that said that exact thing. She didn't know anything about Advocare. She just knew that she tried this Spark and her house was cleaner than it had ever been. So that's a really good way to tell your very small story, because you may not have results yet, or you may not be looking for weight loss and you're talking to someone who is. So that's a really good way to tell your story when it's a small product story. Now, what about income? One of the things you can do for sure is share other people's stories. Chances are your sponsor or one of your teammates is going to have a great story that you can borrow, and then the next step, of course, is going to be to put that person in a success system, preferably with the person you told them a story about. But if you have a very small income story, like I did at first, I learned a really cool way to share it that I think can really speak to people. My very first paycheck in Advocare was $9.95, and that may not be exciting to some people, but a funny story, we go through probably 12 pounds of bananas in my house every week. So to me, that $9.95 was banana money for an entire week. I could buy all the bananas I needed, and I didn't have to take them out of my grocery budget. Now, what that said to me is I was able to make all of my banana money, and I didn't really have to do anything. I put someone on a call, one person. So I kind of started thinking, if I can make all of my banana money for a week by doing that, can't I make all of my grocery money for a week? And my next paycheck was upwards of $600. That covers my groceries for over a month. And we went on to make $35,000 our first year because of that one check of banana money. I saw more from it. So when people ask you, what kind of money can you make here? Well, you may not necessarily want to go straight into, oh man, there's this guy named Danny McDaniel and he made $392,000 in January. That's awesome. I would love that. But people may not be able to place themselves in that situation. So that story may not necessarily resonate with everyone. But for somebody like me who's got 5 mouths to feed and sometimes has gone through times when I've struggled to buy groceries, just knowing I just made my banana money for a week by making one phone call was really exciting to me, and it kind of opened my eyes to the bigger picture. So you may not have made $3,000 in a month with Advocare, but whatever it is that you've made, it's probably not less than what my first paycheck was. So find a way to make that relatable to someone. That's not necessarily a big story, but it's enough to really spark someone's interest and, lead them to ask questions, which is the perfect opportunity to put that person in a success system. So remember, facts tell, stories sell. No matter how small you think your story might be, your sponsor or other leaders in Advocare can help you turn that into a perfectly packaged 30-second or less story. That we have videos on those too, but that is something you should really hone in on and practice, is how to make your story relatable to people, no matter how small it is. Thank y'all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.